Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Pravijacharya, Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki. Anandi Koti Vaishnavanda ki. Nam Acharya Swaridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Radha Kungiri Govardhan ki. Vrindavan Navadip Dham ki. Gangamai Jamunamai ki. Bhakti Devi Tulasi Devi ki. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki. Pita Gaur Premanande. All glories to the Son of Devotee. 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 All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guru. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, everybody. It's nice to be with you. My name is Raghunath Bhatt. I'm from South Africa. I live in the temple in Shri Radha Temple. It's one of the temples in Durban. It's a huge temple. And I'm so happy to be with you. But at the same time, I really don't know what I'm going to be speaking on because, Varun Prabhu, what I'll be speaking on, I think you mentioned about South Africa. I thought we keep it very open also. I could speak in between. We'll keep it a two-way discussion. I could speak about South Africa a little in comparison to India. Thank you. I could speak about South Africa, but in relation to India. I was looking at some verses in the morning yeah, we could have a just very open discussion. Was that projected there? Okay. So I was just share it online also. Oh, you do it for me. These things, but not my life. I'm an old man. I'm 64 years old, so. I'm out of touch with these modern technology and things like that. Yeah. Okay. So we could look at some verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we'll discuss it in relation to South Africa, India and South Africa. But in between, if you have anything to ask, please feel free. Even if you want to ask me personal things, it's okay. I could share my personal life with you, so you'll have a better understanding, and it's always nice to be open, okay? But you could ask anything. So I just thought of discussing a little bit about, I'll read a little bit from the summary of the 5th canto. Just a few points where I highlighted. It's talking about Maharaj Nabi, who had 100 sons. I don't know now, I don't know if you want to have 100 sons now, or you want to take the zeros out of there. I think you have to take the 2 zeros out, right? Oh yeah, 100 sons. So 100 sons, and one of them was Rishabdev. That was quite an exalted personality, Rishabdev, and perhaps you know Jainism. Jains is an offshoot of Rishabdev's teaching. So I was some years back. I was in Namibia. It's an African state, not far from South Africa. I met a person who was following Rishabdev, but he was from Gujarat. He was from Gujarat. He was a diamond dealer. So it was like this. He invited in his company, nobody eats meat. People who's working, they're not allowed to bring the lunch he provides for them, but everybody is vegetarian there. How's that sound? Good, huh? Wonderful. So, yeah, so he was a follower of Rishabdev, and I was explaining him about where does Jainism come from. But then, Rishabdev, we'll read a little bit more towards the bottom. Through his own potency, Rishabdev sumptuously covered Ajnabha with ample rain. So in this place where he was, he could, by his potency, by his purity, rain could come. And still, I don't know if you have droughts here, but generally in South Africa in the early days, we had gatherings where we would worship Vishnu for rain, like that. So, because King Nabi, he kind of raised him very carefully. After that, he entrusted the ruling power to him, and retiring from family life, he lived at Badrik Ashram, completely engaged in the worship of Vasudeva. So we're meant to retire at some point. Some people work till death because they don't have anything else to do, right? How many of you are retired yet? None of you. I'm retired. You're retired at a young age, huh? That's good. Yeah. So like that. So Lord, then Rishabdev, he begot sons also, 100 sons. So they were very potent and powerful at that time. They could produce so many sons. And his son is important in Vedic culture. You're all coming from Indian background. I'm a foreigner. But it's important to have a son because the son take over the responsibilities. Because, when the lady is about 50 and the husband is about 50, the son is about 25, 24 years old, then the wife is not so much interested in the husband. Is more interested in the son, isn't it? Is it true? It's a fact. Is more interested in the son because the son represents the father. So like that, he had 100 sons, and then from that 100 sons, Bharat was born. One of them was Bharat. So therefore, this planet Bharat or India is one of the best places on the entire planet. You're very fortunate that you took birth in India. So that's how it's a history, but I won't go into the details. That verse again in Srimad Bhagavatam 549 says, Rishabdev's 100 son, the eldest was named Bharat, was a great exalted devotee, qualified with the best attributes. In his honor, this planet has become known as Bharatvarsh. Therefore, you all refer to India as Bharat. And in that purport, Srila Prabhupada sums it up for you. When I was reading it this morning, I thought about you because it's for you. And he talks about Bharata Bhumita Hoila Manusya Janmaya. One who has taken birth as a human being in the land of India should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. So that is your duty. Because to know about God, this is the place. Even people who are living here who are sinful, they're still pious. Okay? So even if your neighbor is sinful, remember that he's still his birth, he's pious, and we'll go through it. So this particular verse, Srila Prabhupada emphasized it on numerous occasions, especially when he met an Indian gathering. People coming from Indian descent. And he says here, the inhabitants of this piece of land are very fortunate. They can purify their existence by accepting this consciousness movement and go outside Bharat Bhumi and preach this cult to the benefit of the whole world. So your duty is to give this information to people outside India. So this is your duty, and this is what we can speak about in relation to South Africa. So you're very, very fortunate. People who come to Krishna consciousness are fortunate. Yes.
I want to know the word cult here. Why is it used? Is it a different use the word cult?
Sorry?
Cult, the word cult.
Oh, cult. I don't like that word.
Yeah.
Well, some people, it's easier for them to, in the Western world, sometimes you have to use words that they can understand. Like Prabhupada, I'm going to say it here because, Prabhupada sometimes spoke about African people. And sometimes, they refer to them as black people. So we are also in South Africa addressed as blacks. We also born there. So that is not acceptable in that country. In that country. But yeah, it's an acceptable thing. So yeah, this word cult is not a good word to use, and I don't use it. But Prabhupada has used it in his purport here, so we'll accept it for now. Yeah. So it'll benefit the whole world. So when you preach this message, you will benefit the whole world. So we got, I don't know how many people here and how many people are online, but you all should take this up very, very seriously. Is it okay? Any questions or comments? Okay, so quickly, then on 5:6:30, there's another verse in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, learned scholars chant about the transcendental qualities of the Lord Rishabdev, in this way. Oh, this earthly planet contains 7 seas and many islands and lands, of which Bharatvarsh is considered the most pious. People of Bharatvarsh are accustomed to glorifying the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his incarnations as Lord Rishabdev and others. All these activities are very auspicious for the welfare of humanity. And Prabhupada in his purport, you'll notice, he quotes this again. He speaks again, this was Bharata Bhumita Vaile Manusya Janmaya. That this is a pious land, and you'll manage to go and give out this message. He brings it up so many times. And this 5th canto is you read 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam? All of y'all? Some of y'all. You've been browsing through it. You can read the ones where you go to hell. That's one is nice. So those hellish planets are described. And then again, Prabhupada in his purport, he says that Bharatvarsh, the word Adipunyam indicates there are certainly many other pious men throughout the world, but the people of Bharatvarsh are even more pious. Therefore, they are fit to spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world for the benefit of all human society. How that sounds for you? You feel happy, right? Do you feel happy? Because you're very fortunate. People who come to Krishna consciousness, they're fortunate. People who don't come to Krishna consciousness, they are unfortunate. And the people who come to Krishna consciousness and leave, they are most unfortunate. Okay? So you're very fortunate. So I thought we can highlight and speak about this particular point more. And it talks about, there's a lot of verses that's dealing with that.
On the day of disappearance of Srila Bhaktivedanta College, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, in the end of his lecture.
Is this working? This works? You have to, because the people want to hear online, so.
Yeah, so that lecture, we at the end of the lecture, we read the instructions of Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj. So that ever since I heard that was in my mind. So,
But
in the December only,
use the mic so that the people could hear online. No, it doesn't matter.
So, on 31st December was the disappearance of Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj, and at the end of the lecture, Gopal Krishna Maharaj read one instructions of the Prabhupada, the Guru Maharaj of Srila Prabhupada. So, ever since that, I'm just remembering that instruction, and it has like stuck with me. But so I was just casually like curious enough to self-talk with me that whether I'll be able to do this. So I was just thinking so many times, but while thinking, the only thing I could think that I don't have that much courage, or do I have the courage to go to people to tell them about Krishna? So, to my own surprise, I realized that I don't have that much courage. I literally felt so incapable while thinking only, and I don't know if that is like I want to share, though I don't have much to share with me. Like I'm business, but still I was just curiously thinking that if I can follow this. But I felt like literally very incapable when I was just thinking, is it out of fear? Is it out of lack of faith in Krishna conscious movement? Or inferiority complex, like because I didn't have that much faith on Indian culture or Indian scriptures from my childhood only, and immediately everything came. So it is like overwhelming me. So that I wanted. I feel that I can do chanting, I can do reading, I can come to the temple, but sharing the part, this Krishna conscious with other people makes me very fearful, and I don't have that much courage.
Okay, I got it. So that's a good point. The instruction was to preach. That was the instruction was given to Prabhupada. Is that what you're referring to the end?
Yeah, like that instruction.
Okay. So yeah, I got it. So the point is that you may not have that power to do certain things, and there may be certain obstacles. And you find in the life of Srila Prabhupada that he received that instruction to preach very early when he met Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. But he only executed it many, many decades later. So that instruction, depending on what instruction, like this is a good instruction, it's in Prabhupada's books to you, for y'all. It's there for the people of Bharat, it's very clear. So you may not be able to execute it now, but in due course of time, you'll execute it. And Srila Prabhupada said that yes, that you may get the instruction of the spiritual master, but you keep that instruction and it'll mature later. But you make sure that you try to fulfill that instruction. Now it doesn't mean that if the spiritual master tell you to bring tea and you didn't bring it at that time, now later on you'll make the tea and run to it. It's not that. It's like not those type of instructions. It's something like this we're talking about. Giving that message of Krishna consciousness to the world. Okay, so you may not be, you lack that now because you knew, but you will see that you will be a speaker of Krishna consciousness. You will be able to give this message as you follow the process, and you know that you follow these 4 regulative principles. What are the 4 regulative principles? So there's 4 principles. When you follow those 4 principles, then you get determination, especially when you follow the one no illicit sex. You get stronger and stronger. That's why, like, when you celebrate, you have more potency. But you will follow this instruction, then you'll get the determination to execute that instruction. Is it okay? So don't worry now. Okay?
No, like, I participated first time in the radio station, so what I have observed that while the devotees are around me, so I'm able to get the books and confident enough, but the moment nobody is around me, I get so overwhelmed.
No. Okay, you're talking about book distribution. So book distribution, you do, you take books and you put it in people's hands. Just do like that. Book distribution is simple. You just take the books.
It's simple, but still I get so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And nobody is around me.
See, the thing is, it's good for girls to attack the boys and the boys to attack the girls. This is a good strategy in book distribution. Because one year we had this Ratha Yatra festival in South Africa, and we put all the ladies to distribute the books. And book magic. They distributed so much of books that we never dreamed of. And so sets of Bhagavatam sets, Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially in a place like South Africa, distribute books like that, it's something because we are dealing with not pious or pious people. So you'll be able to do it, you just give books and yeah, I wish I could come here and distribute some books with you. Come on someday, yeah? We go out and speak to people about, and distribute books. And people will take it. Like I have a picture of an African boy here. We sold a book to somebody, and I go to universities, we preach to students, and where Prabhupada went to the University of Durban, Westphal. And we gave a book to somebody else, and they left it there. That guy took it and he read it. Somebody bought it for someone else. So it's very, and the students, we don't give them for free. We don't give the books for free. We make sure they pay something so they value it. But you'll do it. We can talk later about it more. I'll be here. Okay. All right. Is there anything else? So I'm reading. This text is good. 5:17:11 from the 5th canto. But it says that I'm just reading the after returning from the heavenly planets, they enjoy remaining results of their pious activities in this 8 earthly varsas. So in this, the people take birth, when they go to heavenly planets, they enjoy all their piety, their punya. But when there's very little left, they leave the heavenly planet. So they still have that pious activity which they enjoy in the earthly planet. Therefore, you find people someone is better than the other. Some people are having a more pious life. They have more than facilities without hard work, but they're enjoying their piety from there. Therefore, you find the Beatles. You heard of the Beatles? The Beatles. They were musicians. So they were very pious. And Prabhupada said they were from the heavenly planets. They could sing. They could really sing very well. I don't go listen to them now. But they could sing very well. I know you'll Google it, I don't want you to do that. So they would sing very well. So they had that piety, but that piety exhausted after a period of time. And therefore they were also able to connect with the devotees and help them in the getting the manna, that estate. And Prabhupada interacted with them, with John Lennon, George Harrison, printed the Krishna book. So that's piety. So they would take birth in these planets, and then Prabhupada writes an extensive purport. But then again, he quotes this verse again. And let's just check. Not in this particular purport, but in this particular purport, he brings it to the point of pure devotional service. You know this verse, right? Aniyamilasvasunyam, Jnana Karma Anavritam, Anukulena Krishna Vishilanam Bhaktivedanta. So this is talking about where one from the heavenly planets, he goes on to pure devotional service. What's your definition of pure devotional service? What's pure? I'm asking you.
Where your intention is just to please the Lord.
Just to please Him, right?
Don't expect anything in any material benefits.
Yeah. So at the same time, Krishna must be pleased, isn't it? If he's not pleased, then that's not pure devotional service. That's devotional service, but you haven't pleased him. There's a difference.
Does pure devotional service also includes spiritual satisfaction or
Yes, yeah. Pure devotional service, it's like this. The example given is like Maria Yashoda is binding Krishna, or he's upset that Krishna is stealing butter and other complaints. You know the pastime, right? I don't want to get into it. But in any case, when Maria Yashoda is breastfeeding Krishna, so at one point she leaves Krishna and she goes to the stove. And the milk is boiling over because she left Krishna. But Krishna was not pleased. Is that pure emotional service? Yes or no? Pure.
she went ultimately to satisfy only
Good point. Good point, yes. So the milk is boiling over, and the milk is, the milk, you just see that in the spiritual world, everything is conscious. The milk is conscious, the grass is conscious, everything is conscious. So the acharyas explain that yes, Krishna was not pleased, but Maria Yashoda had left him and he was upset. But they still feel it's pure devotional service because the milk is thinking, I also want to serve Krishna. And as long as Maria Yashoda breastfeeds Krishna, I wouldn't have that chance. So if I boil over, then I may have that opportunity. So therefore, it is in that sense pure devotional service. And then the argument may arise: who is more important, Krishna, the Maria Yashoda breastfeeding him, or the milk boiling out from the stove? Which is higher? See, the devotee, the milk is a devotee, and the devotee is higher or greater than the Lord because he has that love for Krishna and he can give you that. So just like there's a verse in the Padma Purana, Aradhanam Sharvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param Tasmat Paritam Devi Chariyanam Samacharanam. Of all the types of worship, the worship of Vishnu is the highest. And higher than the worship of Vishnu are those things that are related to him. So the devotee is higher. So therefore, to bring you to that point that, that yes, devotional service, it must be favorable. It's like, it must be favorable. And your intention must be to please Krishna. And Krishna must be pleased. But if your intention is just to please Krishna and Krishna is not pleased, then that's not pure devotional service. Got it? Yes.
Prabhuji, I have a question. As you mentioned, that pure devotional service means where the Lord is satisfied, and if He's not satisfied, then it is just a devotional service. So, do we have any chance to know that whether we were able to please the Lord?
Oh yes.
How we can know that?
When a group of devotees, mature devotees, say, "Hey, that Prashad, Rasgula you made was nice." That's how you know it. From the devotees, you know it. From a mature devotees tell you that, then you will know Krishna was pleased. That's the way to know it. It's an interesting way, yeah? But I had one friend, everywhere he goes, he said, "You the best." So everywhere you go. So what is that to tell him? What this fellow says this everywhere. You're not the best. Everywhere it's the same thing. So, yes.
How do you define a devotee?
A devotee.
Who's a devotee?
A devotee, you can read it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We don't have time to get into it, but it's a good topic to get into. Like a person who chants once can be considered a devotee. But more than that, and there's different gradations of devotee. Who's a devotee? Or let's say who's a pure devotee. A pure devotee is somebody who follows the four regulative principles and follows the instruction of the spiritual master. He's under the shelter of the spiritual master. He is considered to be a pure devotee. Just like it's a mango. The mango, it'll get ripe in due course of time, but it just requires a little bit more heat. First, a little bit bitter. The devotees in the beginning, how they are. They're a little bitter, isn't it? Like it's difficult sometimes to deal with them. It's a little bitter. So you have to put some chili powder or something and have the mango or whatever. But when it gets ripe, succulent, then it's sweet. So the devotee is a devotee. That's what Prabhupada's definition is of a pure devotee. I could read it from Giriraj Maharaj just posted this. Somebody asked him the question, and let me see if I could read it. Let's read. That's an interesting letter. Yeah. He says, I'll read this. A few evenings ago, Jayapalika Swami Maharaj and I gave class together at Iskcon Juhu. During the question and answer, a devotee asked, how can I recognize a pure devotee? And in response, I quoted Srila Prabhupada's reply to a letter from Sister Krishna Das asking about pure devotees. The letter, this is the letter. We advise everyone to address one another as Prabhu. Prabhu means master. So how the master should be disobeyed? Yeah, but you don't say Prabhu wearing my shoes. That's not the problem. Okay? So yeah. Prabhu means master. So how should the master be disobeyed? Others, they are also pure devotees. All of my disciples are pure devotees. Anyone sincerely serving the spiritual master is a pure devotee. It may be Siddha Swarup. This is one of Prabhupada's disciples. He was a charismatic devotee who brought Sister Krishna to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna consciousness. Or others. A Siddha Swarup, this or not Siddha Swarup. This must be very clearly stated. It is not only that your Siddha Swarup is a pure devotee and not others. Do not try to make faction. Siddha Swarup is a good soul, but others should not be misled. Anyone who surrendered to the spiritual master is a pure devotee. It doesn't matter Swarup or non-Siddha Swarup. Amongst yourself, one should respect others as Prabhu, master, one another. As soon as we distinguish, Ye is a pure devotee, Ye is a non-pure devotee, that means I am nonsense. Why you only want to be in the spiritual sky with Siddha Swarup? Why not all? If Siddha Swarup can go, why not everyone? Siddha Swarup will go, you will go, Shyam Sundar will go, and others will go. We will have another Iskcon there. You want to go there? If there's another Iskcon, you'll be gay, hold it, we can't go there. Got some enemies. See, so, of course, Mr. Naya must stay. Yeah. But anyway, there's more to it. I don't want to read the whole thing, but that's what it is. That is okay? This answers your question? Okay, all right. Okay.
So far, Prabhupada in his introduction in Bhagavad Gita, he writes, introduction something he writes that if anyone pure devotees meet, then my movement is successful.
Yeah, so the movement is successful. There's so many pure devotees. Why one moon? Many moons we can have. So in the sense that that's the pure devotee meaning on the highest level. And I have to read the other part here. Just a few lines. So that night, Giriraj Swami said he had a dream, a philosophical dream, in which he noted the different categories of devotees. You have Kanishta, who's a neophyte devotee, a Madhyam, who's in midway in devotional service, and an Uttama, who's in the topmost level. So he said, these different divisions are meant primarily for us to assess where we are in Krishna consciousness and make further progress, not to judge the others. So it is the way it helps us to assess ourselves. So we can say, sometimes, because we're not on that level of a Uttama, so it'll be difficult for us to know who's an Uttama Adhikari. Like right now, I don't want to promote any offenses, but one of you all may be seated here, maybe in the highest level. See? So we have to be very cautious. We don't know who's sitting next to you. Maybe Narada Muni is next to you. Okay? Yeah? So we don't know. So we have to be very cautious. Yeah. So we have to, but the scriptures explain, the different symptoms one has. Because those are detailed information. Okay. So let's move on to the next verse. So then, since the human life is sublime position for spiritual realization, all demigods in heaven speak in this way, how wonderful it is for these human beings to have been born in the land of Bharatvaj. They must have executed pious acts of austerity in the past, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself must have been pleased with them. So for you to take birth here means that the Lord has been pleased with you, otherwise you wouldn't have taken birth here. Got it? So you're in a very fortunate situation. Otherwise, how could they engage in devotional service in so many ways? We demigods can only aspire to achieve human births in Bharatvaj, to execute devotional service, but these human beings are already engaged there. How that sound? It's wonderful. You should be proud of these verses. When I was reading it this morning, actually, you told me to speak about South Africa. I didn't know. I'll speak about India and then relate it to South Africa. Oh, yeah. So, and the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he goes back to those verses. Bharata Bhumita Hoila Manusya Janmaya. He goes to that same verses. One who is taken birth as a human being in the land of India should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. He quotes it here. And he quotes it and he speaks about it. And then he says, from all points of view, Bharatvaj is a special land where one can very easily understand the process of devotional service and adopt it to make his life successful. Yes.
So, as it is mentioned here, repeatedly Prabhupada is mentioning that we have to spread this message as much as possible. So, what to do? Like, we are trying hard, but the immediate family is not getting the message even we are trying.
Yeah, the immediate family is hard for you to preach. You can't preach to them.
Why is it so?
Because they know you are running naked in front of them, so they're not worried about you. I know him. It's like Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur says, as a pastime of Nanga Panchu. It's a naked person. And this fellow, somehow he rose up the ranks. He was running naked in the courtyard. But then he became a judge. So then, one person is saying the others in the village, oh, this person has become a judge. They think, I can't be. That fellow, Nange Panchu, he was running around us. He can't be a judge. Envy, how envy is. So then anyway, they convince the person, well, this person definitely is a judge. He's sitting on the bench now. It's a judge. Then the person said, okay, maybe he's a judge, but he's not getting salary. So this is envy. This is envy. So the thing is, it's very difficult, for people around you and they know your activity. This fellow, he should drink with me. I will listen to him. So that's the challenge. Envy is another quality. We'll talk about it when we come to the next verse. Yeah, it's quite a thing. We can ask you for your inputs. Is that okay? So it's very difficult. Somebody else should preach to them, and sometimes you don't know how to preach to them. It's very difficult. So yeah, somehow you have to put some maha water in the prasadam and give them. Do something that they don't know. That unknowingly they'll have it. But in India, if you give people prasad, they have it. They're not against taking prasadam, isn't it? But even if they are, they're thinking, if I take it, I'll become a devotee. I don't want to become a devotee. I don't want to use bedsheets like this, Prabhu, yeah, and I don't want to do all that. So somehow you should trick them into it, get them to practice. But you don't have to force them, because this is done out of love. See, if somebody is worshipping some devata, he's not wrong. If he's worshipping Shiva, he's worshipping Durga, he's not wrong. Hare Krishna devotees got it all wrong. Correct? They say, what you really worshipping? Durga, Kali, all these people. No. But if the person is not surrendered to Krishna, he's in a position to worship the devatas. It's actually good. There's nothing wrong with it. Get it? And Prabhupada was having a discussion with one person, Dr. Patel, on the beach here. And in the discussion, he was talking about Kali worship. You know what Kali worship is about? All of you, right? And he's saying it's wrong. And Prabhupada said no. Because that's in the scriptures. It's in the scriptures, and it's for people on that level, they're meant to do that.
But what if they are into meeting?
Yeah, that's I'm talking about it, yeah. So they can't go buy in the butcher shop, they have to worship Kali. They have to do the proper sacrifice. And they have to whisper in the goat's ears to the mantra. This life I'm taking your life, next life you can take mine. So the whole idea is to bring them higher. Is to see, just like this, there's a law here. Under 18 can't go into the wine shop. You have wine shops here. Under 18 can't go. There's a regulation, isn't it? But what is that regulation for? It's regulating you to stop it. So when the scriptures are telling you, do the worship like this and eat meat, it's actually regulating you to stop that activity. How that sounds? That's what it is. It's an interesting way. So therefore, then the devotee that Dr. Patel is saying, it's wrong. Prabhupada says it's not wrong. Because if it's wrong, because Vyasadeva compiled the scriptures, so then you are offending, you're causing offense aparat to Vyasadeva. Got it? Makes sense, right? So we don't do that. So yeah, but he was saying, but Prabhupada saying, well, if you eat meat, this is what you have to do. Nobody eats meat here, everybody eats meat. Nobody. Everybody eats meat. You have to do it like this. Nobody eats meat here, right? Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Everybody is vegetarian, so it's okay. But yeah, but if you're eating meat, that's how you do it. Because that's the proper method. Because see, when you have that ladder, the yoga ladder, it takes you one step. The bottom is animal life. Then you get human form of life, karma kanda section. You're meant to do that ritualistic activities, and then you come higher on the ladder. Somebody asked Prabhupada, worshipping Jesus is higher or worshipping Kali? He said Kali. Because you're following the Vedas. That's why it's higher. Get it? See, on the ladder. Don't go and preach like this to people, you are wrong. And maybe your family members, some of them are not practicing. Who? Is yeah? They're not practicing. So don't force them. They'll see you they must see you as an example. you become the example and they'll change by your example. But if you keep irritating them and, hey, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, and all, they won't change.
They gave lecture that focus on your study rather than doing this.
That's okay. That's also good because see, if you focus on your study, do some balance it, But if you focus on your study and if you're a good student, then people appreciate, hey, the Hare Krishna person is a good student. So that is their advancement. That's preaching. You get it? So you're preaching in an indirect way. So you have to do that also. That makes sense. You study. What do you study?
Last year of graduation.
What?
Bachelor's of Arts.
Bachelor of Arts.
Yes.
It's called, is Bachelor of Arts degree. It's called BAD, bad. There was I'll tell you this one thing about, a devotee was helping us to build a temple in South Africa. He was an architect. So, Bachelor of Architecture degree means BAD. He's bad. So in our country, yeah. So he had his Bachelor of Architecture degree, and then he got his master's. What he became? And after a while, he was a brahmachari. After a while, he decided to get married. He got his doctorate degree. He became DAD, dead. Anyway, so yeah, so it's not bad, okay? Yeah, it's not bad. Anything else? Oh yes, the men are not asking, so we're giving the chance. The ladies have taken over your love.
Prabhuji, what do your parents compare? Like, 2 days before only my results came and it was nice. So, but my mother was happy also. Then my brother came and started telling that, oh, ladki ko itna aaya, like that other girl got this one. And from then on, only my mother is so sad that you don't go to temple, other girls are getting this much marks now. But I studies only bhakti, now you don't focus on temple and all. My wish is not allowing me to come to the temple only.
It's okay, maybe sometimes you have to stay home and do it. You do housework also.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because my mother is working.
Okay. Tell her you're doing some housework. You must compromise. You negotiate with her. Tell her how she's the best mother. Yeah, massage your feet and go. So yeah, I do like that. You have to be like, like even when people are married, I don't know, you have difficulties sometimes. Your wife maybe not be, she may be a devotee, but she will also be inclined to go also. You have to go all the time. What is let's bring the Hare Krishna all the time. Not good, So, but somehow you have to be diplomatic with your wife, how she's the best wife, she cooks the best. You're very charming, you have to be the best to that point. And slowly you can say, well, I'm going now to the Hare Krishna temple, Yeah, so you have to do it, you have to be tactful. Yeah.
Probably I was asking that.
Wait, just one, let's take his question, right? I think we had 6, so I just need a few minutes to talk on the other thing because it's already 6 o'clock. Yes?
Tapasya is also a part of your devotion.
Tapasya?
It's also a part of your devotion.
Yeah, well, it's you have to do some, but it's not like, then in the Nectar of Devotion, you have read that book? No. So it says there that, like knowledge and renunciation are not principles of pure devotional service. Because that comes with being engaging in the activity itself. You don't have to make an extraneous effort, stand on one leg or something and do something or ski or something, or go downhill or something, not like that. So it's not, the austerity is that your engagement in devotional service. but you just follow the principles. But we don't make an extra effort to engage in austerity. The austerity is already there. You fast for Ekadasi, all those things, Janmashtami. So, but it's in line. See, the thing is, it's in line with bhakti. It must be in line with bhakti, with devotion.
We can see in Iskcon also very limited sannyasis do very much austerities,
Yeah,
who are like preaching for preaching.
yeah.
Krishna movement. So what is that?
That is in the line of bhakti. That's okay. But you can't be austere, for perform some activity or austerity for gaining something material also. So that's not in the line of bhakti. It's not just like we give prasadam. If somebody else is just giving food, that's not really beneficial to the person. But we giving prasadam is called bhakti unmukhi sukriti. It's unknown pious activities he's engaging in. So that is like the person will have the prasadam and can become a devotee. So we don't engage in artificial austerities, but being austere in the line of bhakti, and even that's not recommended. Like people try to learn a whole lot of verses and study a lot of verses and rattle the whole Bhagavad Gita. So that also is not something that we must develop, that idea of becoming scholarly. But when we become devoted, there's a difference. But you don't have to worry about too much austerity. But preaching is okay. Like even us, we preach in South Africa and we preach in the universities. And it's tough to get 5 people in a room. It's really tough to get it because we're dealing with African people mainly here. It's very difficult.
Queens of Krishna were also pure devotees.
Sorry?
Queens of Krishna and Dwarka
Yeah.
were also pure devotees. But
Pure devotee. You also. Just I read the whole definition of a pure devotee.
no, but they did not did something austere for Krishna. And
No. Yeah. We don't have to engage in austerity. It's fun, having a good time. Like when you go to Vrindavan, you see all hear about Krishna's pastime. It's all very loving and beautiful. Yeah. So again and again, one you ask a question?
Yeah, just a continuation question. Sometimes we hear that all the gopis were in their past life were rishis and munis were who was doing tapasya for getting Krishna as their husband. So you said they were not austere in their questions. So but sometime in Bhagavatam class only we hear that the gopis were rishis at the time of Lord Ram's.
Yeah, they had to do some austerity. They were doing austerities, but still, they got a benediction in the future life they can engage in Krishna's pastime. But it's in line with bhakti because they want that higher relationship with Krishna. See, with Lord Ram, Ayodhya. So Ram is, he has one wife only, Sita. But Krishna has many girlfriends. That's a higher relationship. So therefore, they wanted to enter in the line of bhakti. It is a higher relationship with Krishna. Is it okay? That makes sense, right? So it must be in line with that. Okay.
Prabhuji, in we saw so many yogis of the people who were born in India. So Srila Prabhupada for so many years he was sincerely endeavoring to spread Krishna consciousness in India. So why was it that people were not taking up?
Yeah. See, these people are pious in India. They are close to Krishna, but they're running away from Krishna. The Westerners, like foreigner like me, becoming closer to Krishna. Because you do this thing. You see when what you would say that the term we use in English, familiarity, breed contempt. Like sometimes you want to preach to me, I know everything. Like we had one person, I knocked his door. This man was from a Brahmin descent, Indian person. I knocked his door, he opened the door. And he didn't open the door, his daughter-in-law opened the door. She opened the door, she said, we know everything. I said, yes, we know you know everything, we came to learn from you. Now she was in a fix, she had to call me in. So she called me in, I went and sat in there, and I asked, where's your father-in-law? He said, no, he's not here. He was head of the Hindu organization. So I said, okay, we'll wait for him because we're going to learn from him. So she's sitting and the other person telling me, let's go. I said, no, let's see what's happening. Let's see what they do. So there's, how these gates open. The man came in this vehicle, the gates opened, and then I can hear the gates locking. I'm sitting in his room, and then you could hear the boot opening, what do you call it, digging or something, but it opening in the back. And you can hear some, like a crate, like it's rattling, So he picked up the crate and he's coming up the stairway. And right when he came to the stairway, the whole thing fell. When he came right to the door. And the whole house was smelling with liquor, drinks, intoxication. The whole house is smelling. So this lady is looking at us, they just don't know what to do. The other man is getting agitated, said, let's go. I said, no, wait, let this man come. Let's see when the man comes. Let's see what condition he is. He came there, they had his chair. So it's called the lazy boy chair. So you go back like this, it's called the lazy boy chair. You can Google that, lazy boy. So now this man came, he sat down, he's going backward and forward, but he was drunk. Then finally he's asking us, so what you came for? You can came for your money. But we came for because he just retired from the government sector, so we can get some money out of it. That's why we came here. So then anyway, he was totally drunk. And then the family members are feeling so bad and embarrassed. So I woke up and I told them, you know what, I don't think so we can learn from you today. But some other time I'm sure, but not today. Then we left. So, people are getting further away, they're following sinful activities and they're running away from Krishna. Is that okay? So you must come closer to Krishna. We'll do this one purport more and then we can stop, right? Well, I think we took 10 minutes more. Because you all came late to 10 minutes. I'll watch it. All of you are walking in. Anyway, this last verse. This verse, and this is the highlight of the verse, but which there's much more to it, is in the 10th canto, the 13th chapter, text number 60, which is this purport was written by Prabhupada. And in this translation, to the purport, it said, Vrindavan is the transcendental abode of the Lord, where there is no hunger, anger, thirst. Naturally inimical, both human beings and fierce animals live together in transcendental friendship. And Prabhupada goes on to explain how Vrindavan is, where the animals and the human beings live together. The forest animals are as good as demigods, for they have no envy. So what is envy? What's the meaning of envy?
We can't see someone else to grow and
Progressing. Can't see somebody else progressing. Yes, young man.
Hatred and jealousy.
Hatred
And jealousy.
and jealousy. Okay, anybody else?
Can't see others happy or happy or not happy.
Okay, can't see others happy and happy themselves.
Mentality that I can't have this feeling the other person.
Okay, good.
When you want to have the qualities of what they have.
That's nice, but let's try to get this good qualities. They got better qualities because you don't like it. So so if they have good qualities, you can get it. Yes.
feeling good about not having what they have,
Okay,
and then jealous of it.
okay. So all good. But Prabhupada's definition of envy I have to give you. When you don't like somebody, that's envy. How's that? How's that? But not liking somebody must be directed to Mr. Nayak, not you, not to the devotees. You know, Mr. Nayak was it? You can direct it to him, but not the devotees, not liking. So how do you overcome that? And Prabhupada writes a brilliant purport. If you have the time, read this purport. We're just taking up to 6:15. So I'll be here, you can ask the questions later. But it's talking about how Vrindavan is, how everybody is happy. Everybody wants to serve Krishna in a different capacity. And there is no envy. Remember that everybody has got an equal opportunity to get everything from Krishna like anybody else. Got it? Everybody has an opportunity because Krishna is unlimited. He can give you what you want. So why do you have to be envious of the other person? You get it? There's no need to be envious. So we don't have to be envious, and he talks about Vrindavan, but then he speaks about, he comes to a point, and this is South Africa. Prabhupada wrote this in his purport in the Srimad Bhagavatam about South Africa. So here he says, he's talking about a newspaper. The value of Krishna consciousness, however, will gradually be very much appreciated. For instance, in an article about the temple of the Hare Krishna movement in Durban, South Africa, the Durban Post reported, all the devotees here are very active in the service of Lord Krishna. And the results are obvious to see. Happiness, good health, peace of mind, and the development of all good qualities. This is what the newspaper is reporting. This is the nature of Vrindavan. Without Krishna consciousness, happiness is impossible. One may struggle, but one cannot have happiness. We are therefore trying to give human society the opportunity for a life of happiness, good health, peace of mind, and all good qualities through God consciousness. So Prabhupada, he quoted you all in the Bhagavatam about India, but he had that place for South Africa. And he quoted it in his purport to the Srimad Bhagavatam that was written about the devotees in the post. But having said that, we come from a country that follows apartheid. And apartheid means, at that time, but even now it's still like that, but separate development. Like we couldn't enter a white bus, like a public transport where whites were transported. We couldn't sit in their benches. We couldn't go use their bathrooms. It was all separate. So I also work for the government. So I have full knowledge about all this. Yeah, so this was apartheid. And then when I was schooling, I had to do a thesis on tracing all the acts of separate development that was passed after 1948, all the various acts, and I was studying it. And then later, and the way we were treated, anyway, we'll get into the details. That's another, next time when I come here, or next time we can talk about it. But then, the way the country was run was pathetic. And many of the Indian people, the forefathers had come from here, from India, and they settled. They went to plant sugarcane, basically sugarcane. Some of them remained. And then they were subjected to all this type of treatment. So South Africa is, it's now free from apartheid to some extent. But the challenges that we faced was quite a lot. So I think Prabhupada he thought about us and he put us in his purport, the Srimad Bhagavatam, on envy, and he commented elsewhere about how they were treated. He himself, Prabhupada, if you look into his talks, which we didn't get to, and next time we can get into his talk, how he was quoting that same verse, that those people who have taken birth or in the land of Bharat should preach this message. He gave a talk in the Durban City Hall in 1975, 7th October, 1975. And in 1995, we honored the 20-year celebration we had for Prabhupada in that hall. But it was in apartheid times, it was amazing that we were able to have it in that hall, the Durban City Hall. It's right in the city. And when Prabhupada came, I'll just conclude with this. When Prabhupada came, the devotees took him down the passage, and it had like layers, gallery. So from the top, they were just throwing flowers to Srila Prabhupada from the top. And all the flowers were falling on Prabhupada. So the person who was there mentioned it to me. And I was thinking, what an experience this must be. So when 20 years later, Srila Prabhupada, when he was having this celebration, Prabhupada was in the back, like in a kitchen area. So I saw nobody there, I stood there, myself and another devotee. So we stood there, and we thought maybe, there's an opportunity to serve Prabhupada like this, we'll be with him. But the politicians and all were speaking, and so many people. So the time came to take Prabhupada to the stage, so we carried him. And we carried Prabhupada down the aisle, and all those flowers were falling from the top of the gallery. And all were falling on us, and we were feeling that love for Srila Prabhupada as we walked up to the stage and put him on the stage. So it was such a beautiful experience. So we'll conclude, we'll stop here. I'll be around to take other questions after this. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So we would like to express our gratitude to Prabhuji, to his grace, Raghunath Bhatt Prabhu, by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there is a one announcement.